I genuinely cannot believe this. For the first time since 2023, I think we have finally played a perfect game. When I mean perfect game, from minute 1 all the way to minute 90, there was no indication that United were going to lose to Sunderland. United 2, Sunderland nil. First of all, before anything else, Lamens, congratulations. This is the kind of debut I expect from a goalkeeper. Nothing crazy, nothing insane. I don't want to see insane saves. All I need is just some consistency, claiming the ball, launching the ball up clear, up the pitch instead of trying to play from the back, trying to show that you're flashy. Just do the basics right. And today, Lamens has shown me that he can do the basics right. Let's hope that this is something to continue. But getting the first clean sheet of the season, when we are almost 7 or 8 games into the season, and you, on your debut, get the clean sheet for us, you know what? Hats off to Sen Lamens. Number 2, Benjamin Sesko. I'll be honest, when we signed him, I wasn't a big fan of him because I thought Sesko was just this next hipster that everybody was trying to hype up. But oh my God, I was wrong. I was wrong. Sesko, when it comes to link-up play, when it comes to contributing in play, well, his finishing is just next level. You just observe the goal that he scored today and you understand the level that Sesko is operating at. He's not only facilitating Mbomo or Cunha on the other side, but he's also helping out with coming into the positions that he needs to be in. This guy's got a crazy leap. He has got an insane leap, almost comparable to Ronaldo himself. With a striker like that, with a leap like that, with athleticism that he has, put balls in behind, put it long, and cross the ball into the box. It's pretty obvious because when you have an athlete like that, you have to use his assets. His assets, surprisingly, he has good link-up play. He has some good pace. He has some good finishing skills. And his athleticism all over is just insane. Vivel, very good find. Lamens, another very good find by Vivel. So I think this was Vivel's summer, really, if you want to call it that. We've just gone and signed players that really contribute to the system very well. Yes, Mbomo didn't play well today. He didn't play well in the last game either. But we all know, and I think we can unanimously agree that Mbomo is going to be a success no matter what happens. Cunha, every time he comes on, whenever he starts the game, whenever he comes on the bench, the guy can really influence the game. The guy's dribbling is next level. His ball control, the way he keeps the ball close to his body instead of trying to launch it forward, trying to dribble or trying to just find the final pass too early. He just knows what he's doing. There were a couple of chances after Cunha came on where he was causing the Sunderland defense problems. Xhaka couldn't deal with him and neither could the Sunderland defense. Another player, after having a very, very bad game against Chelsea, Ahmad, he's back. And all it required is just some effort. All it required was just a reset. And now Ahmad is... I'm not saying he's back to normal levels because he missed a header he probably should have scored in the first half. But we can see Ahmad's skills are coming back, right? He's getting a flow of the game again. And maybe it's just him linking up with Cunha, Mbomo and Sesko finally after all this while. But we can see glimpses of the Ahmad that we saw last season. And another player, Casemiro, who, well, he got the red card against Chelsea, but then after that, he just bounced back. In the midfield, we didn't look like we had many problems until it was Bruno's turn to pretty much solidify the defense. That's when we pretty much got counted on every single time. And yes, if we had lost this game, Amram would have probably got sacked. And in the longer term, that probably would have been a better thing because then we can reset the club. We can reset the motion that we know inevitably, if it's not going to be this week, it's going to be some week in the next month, where Amram probably will get the sack. So why stretch out the inevitable is what I say. But regardless of all that, we must say that this Sunderland team is no joke. It's a team that gave Palace troubles. It's a team that gave Aston Villa troubles. And they even beat Brentford. Do we understand what we're talking about? We're talking about a team that has caused some big teams that would probably roll us over. They've caused them problems. So we shouldn't take this as a pinch of salt. This is a pretty good win still. However, one thing I will say is that we should have scored more than 2. Right? We scored 2 in the first half, all good. But then you got to take the next step to make it go 3 or 4. Where were the chances created after the second goal? And that's the question I put back on Ruben Amorim. This is one of the many reasons, or one of the many 100 reasons why we don't want Ruben Amorim here anymore. Because you don't just sit on a 2-0 lead, especially when we know how weak our defensive structure is. We probably want to make it 3 or 4, and then we probably can be confident like, okay, nothing's going to happen. Because this is the first time, guys, that we kept a clean sheet this season. So we shouldn't just be expecting that just because we score 2 goals, we're going to win a game. That's not how it works at United anymore. So we need to build it back. And guys, again and again, I will say this, and I'm pretty sure you all agree as well. We need that midfield packed. Right? Sunderland couldn't do much today. But Xhaka, he was off the game, and pretty much that's why Sunderland were off the game today. But if we don't pack that midfield, we know what's going to happen at Anfield next week, or next to next week rather. We're going to get rolled over unless we need at least 3 defensive-minded players in the midfield against Liverpool. Because, well, Casemiro would be one. Mino would be a more progressive but defensive-minded player. And then the third player can be either one of Ugarte or Mount. So all I'm saying is it can't be Bruno, because Bruno does not have any sense of defensive awareness. And if we want to beat Liverpool, if we want to even draw to Liverpool in any sense, we need those 3 in midfield. But we know that's not going to happen with Amorim. So the only thing I can say before I leave it all off, again, this guy's making the wrong substitutions. So earlier in the game, we saw Mount was levels clear of Bruno Fernandes, both defensively and offensively. Mount got his goal as well, and he was influencing the game. So instead of subbing Bruno off when he had a pretty quiet game, when he wasn't, as always, when he wasn't at the top, at the peak of his levels, Amorim subs Mount off instead of Bruno Fernandes, which really boggles the mind. Well, what do we do now? Because now we know that Bruno and Dalot, regardless of what happens, are his favourites, and they're going to start one way or the other. What is Amorim's obsession with playing defensive-minded players at wing-back and pretty much playing a 5 at the back instead of 3 at the back that we want to do? Another thing, why does Amorim not instruct De Ligt to push into the midfield? That way we do have the 3 in midfield, and that way we have more security in the midfield. But no, we literally play a 2 in midfield where it's just 2 in midfield. When teams usually play a back 3, what happens is that a centre-back does push into the midfield to help with the attack, to help with the progression in the attack. But we don't see that here. So that's another thing to add to the list of things that we can talk about Ruben Amorim, where he lacks. And the guy actually thinks that formation is a system. Just check the quotes before the game. The guy's confusing his system with formation. One of the most classic errors that a person can make, and that's Man United manager doing that for you. Honestly, there's a lot to change, but for the first time in almost 2.5 years, I would say, this is the first game that I've seen where from minute 1 to minute 90, I wasn't scared that we were going to lose, because it never looked like that. Now, next up is Anfield. It's going to be scary. It is going to be scary. But yeah, what do you all think about this game? Comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.